Okay, a very good afternoon here on the 2nd of August 2019. It's Rishi Patel, co-founder, Master of the Markets, the Elite Traders Conference, and the Traders Open Day. And a very warm welcome into our weekly market roundup, the market update for the week, which we do regularly here at Master of the Markets to recap the opportunities that have taken place for the week that's just passed, so we can do a review for ourselves to understand where we are against where we need to be, so that of course we can then fill that gap. So it's been an interesting week here on the markets, and you'll have seen this if you're trading regularly and actively, some very interesting moves across the different markets. So let's start by looking at the trades that we took in the live trading room. So the first one was on the dollar against the Swiss franc, and that set up for us as a lift-off opportunity, which we took short actually on this seller bar just here, the bar that confirmed the high. We took that short, but you can see the next day itself on the ADP non-farm, it turned and went all the way against us. So the system took a loss of 1%. We were able to cap the loss on cash by doing an intraday trail, but we still took a loss on that one. And the system loss is 1%. And then you can see, interestingly, the market did then turn all the way around yesterday not yesterday, sorry, yesterday, in fact, yes, on the unemployment claims. And again, today, I believe, is going to be a non-farm. So that's not too far away. And it's interesting, the move that's taken place here, because look at, you've got a swing high and swing low right next to each other. And this doesn't normally happen in the market. I mean, if you look back on the charts, you won't see that happening. It's an extreme outlier, so that it is interesting that that happened just this time around. But there's nothing we can do about that, and we continue to trade the plan consistently. That led to a loss of 1% there on liftoff 3.0. Let's look at gold bars. Gold bars on the dollar Japanese yen. There it was, the first PSWB, which we believe will fail, and so we had an entry order in the market just there. A target just there, and you can see the next day opened, it pushed through our entry, it pushed through our target. We're out on one day for a profit of 0.73%, so covering up a lot of the loss that we took on that liftoff just there. So that balances that out pretty much. And then we also had the cash in trade that we took here on the dollar Japanese yen, and again on the system we entered the market here. Again, the exit was just there as well, and that represented 1.04% of upside. Now, we don't count the cash in the actual results, because that is a beta traded system at the moment, so we're not counting that in. So for the live trading room this week, we did finish net down 0.27%. So 0.27% we finished down on the live trading room for the week that has just passed there. So let us so just quickly make a note. So we had, of course, the dollar Swiss franc, and then we had the dollar yen. So the net profit on the live trading room was minus 0.27%. So that's on the live trading room. Let's quickly take a look at the elite trades. There's actually only the one, which was on swing profits, and that was on the euro dollar. And of course, we entered on the IB just here. Those of you that are in the live elite trading room will understand the strategy. We entered on the insider bar, looking for this to become a turning point, this bar just here. We could have actually got in on this bar, but a couple of the parameters actually stopped us from doing that. And if we had have got in on that bar, we would have been able to break even much faster. But unfortunately, one of the parameters was off, and so we couldn't actually do that. So that actually led to a loss on the elite room of minus 0.79. So if we accumulate the losses together for elite and live trading room to this week, we're down 1.06%. Now, one of the things that you'll have seen in the live trading rooms and the elite rooms, if you've been following this year, especially for the live trading room, we've had a few losses consecutively. And the interesting thing that I'm finding with the live trading room, when I look back on the actual performance of the strategies, although you can see that we are down. So first of all, actually I was explaining this to someone just yesterday. It's pretty interesting because what we're doing here is extremely unique in the market. First of all, we are logging every single trade that we're taking transparently, and secondly, what we're doing is we're logging trade by trade and a cumulative performance as well, which you're seeing actually on the table just here. So if you look back at, for example, this is what we've done in real time. This is the money bar strategy. If you look at it, we took 5 losses in a row at 1% each. It exceeded the maximum drawdown that we've seen in backtesting, but we continued to execute the strategy consistently, and the money bar system is actually up 5.45% as of today, just because we did continue to execute that consistently. So it is interesting when we look back on the various performances, because this has all been done cumulatively. Now, my point from looking at this table is that when we accumulate everything together, actually what you'll see, and remember I'm only tracking the first 3 strategies because the other strategies just in beta testing, but if you accumulate those strategies together, you'll see that we've contained our loss at minus 3.75 cash, minus 2.39 system. And that is actually excellent for months that have been very difficult in the market. What this is telling us is that our trading strategies have a superb way of capping downside. And all we need to do now is be patient and wait for those double-digit months, which inevitably do kick in at some stage, and towards taking us towards the upside. And that's basically what we're looking to do here in the trading rooms that we are running. So especially in the live trading room, which has incurred more of a loss this year than is normal for the first 7 months. What it's telling us is that it's definitely capped that downside. You can see that the average loss minus 0.85 is much less than the average profit, which is much better. The average profit is higher. And we have kept ourselves 41 trades, and we're pretty much break even, minus 2.39, just a little bit below the break even point. And to take 41 trades and have only a 40% reliability to get to pretty much break even, that's a pretty phenomenal set of strategies. And what it's telling you is that when the market runs, we are going to capture that upside on a quantified, consistent basis. So that's my message really for the end of the first 7 months of this year. It is about the consistency, it's about being patient, and about staying in the game, because this is the point at which it's the most difficult to do that, because the losses have been incurred. And again, you know, someone did tell me in a coaching session that I had in our office on a one-to-one yesterday, they said they were disheartened by the results, and that's natural for someone that's pretty much a beginner. And I expect that. But of course, if you've racked up the experience, like many of you have that are following our trading rooms and working with us on an ongoing basis, you'll understand that this is very natural, and we are just staying patient and staying in the game for those massive months. And that's what we have to continue to do. So as we go into September and the following months, please do remember that. Okay, let's go on to the topic of the day. Okay, so I want to talk about planning and decisiveness, because this is an extremely important part of trading, and creating a plan is absolutely paramount. If you look at the crib sheets and things that we've created as our part of our trading plan, some of them, especially for the elite strategies, carry so much detail that they can exceed sort of 30 or 40 pages in length. And the reason for that is because of the number of diagrams that we go in, because we need to know what to do in any market circumstance. So whichever way the market forms, or whichever way a bar, pattern or chart starts to turn, we need to be able to have in place a detailed way of handling that. And that's actually what we've done through our level of planning. So planning is absolutely critical. Now, if you don't make a plan, then you're basically setting yourself up for randomness. And I mean, there are lots of famous sayings out there. So for example, like if you fail to plan, then plan to fail. That's one of the big sayings out there, and there's a reason for that, because unless you have a plan that's written down, that's detailed, that's specific, your subconscious mind cannot get to work on actually formulating how that plan is going to come about into fruition. So you have to create a plan, it has to be in writing, and you have to review it all the time to see where you are against it. It's too easy for the other voices in the mind to come in and say, I will maybe just do that later, but if you have a plan in place, then there will be a much greater drive and a much greater clarity to actually manifest actually what you're looking to achieve. So whatever that plan is, whether it's regards to the actual trading opportunities themselves, whether it's regards to your training, your mentoring, that's absolutely critical. And you have to get some form of mentoring, because all of the top athletes, all top performers everywhere, anywhere in the world have mentors to give them guidance, to help them to spot weaknesses in their game, to help them to improve and get to the next level. It's absolutely critical. I can't overemphasize that. But the decisiveness then also comes in, because once you've actually got a plan, can you be decisive enough to actually action it? So when we're looking at some of our trades, and a good example is this, the reason I've got the dollar Swiss up is because I want to show you the intraday chart on the liftoff strategy. And what actually happened here is we actually took the liftoff opportunity short at midnight on the actual 31st. That's right, we took it actually, sorry, at midnight we took it on the 30th of July, which is this bar just here. So we entered the market short. We had a stop loss pretty far away because the liftoff opportunity gave us that to actually be able to do it. It was around here, the stop, 9939. Not around here, it was exactly here. It was at 9939 our stop. Now intraday we were looking at this and reviewing to see if there was an opportunity to trail, and we actually decided to trail the stop pretty quickly to 9926. Now if you look at where the initial stop is, which is 9939, and if you look at where we trailed our stop to at 9926, then you're going to see actually pretty quickly that what's actually happened is the news has come out, ADP non-farm, it's passed through every single stop loss that exists, and it passed through our initial stop and our trailing stop. If we didn't make the decision quickly to make that trail, we would have lost a little bit more money than we actually did. And when you scale this up onto a large account, it's absolutely critical. Now that decisiveness is very important, because time is constantly passing. Whether you're decisive or not, the time is going to pass regardless. So you need to move quickly, because you can't control time and time going away, but what you can do is make the most of the time that you have. That is what's important, and that's worth more than any kind of monetary investment, because time once invested can not be regained, but money once invested can easily be regained through other means. So it's really about understanding that time is our most precious commodity and is always passing. And here's an example on the market of how indecision can cost you more. But if you're indecisive on the market, you'll find that you're indecisive on other places in your life as well, because the way we do one thing is the way we do everything. So that's my message really for the week, not only to all of you but to myself as well, to even improve and continue getting better in terms of planning and decisiveness. Until the next time, stay disciplined, follow your trading plan, keep trading like a master. Bye for now.